So the first tip that I have for people who want to learn how to shoot really good portraits is to interact with the model. Become friends with the model, talk to the model. You don't want to jump in and just start taking pictures of her. I think that's awkward. The pictures will just come out a lot better because they're just more comfortable around you. The second tip is to shoot in RAW when you are shooting portraits, because then you can change certain exposures and colors that you probably wouldn't be able to do if you're shooting in JPEG. So especially portraits, when you're, cropping and getting really close up, you want to be able to make those modifications. So again, it's very important to shoot in RAW. So for those of you who don't have, studio lighting or an actual studio, what you could do is just use windowed light. Again, having the model facing the window is really the best approach, and it gives you really nice light. Another tip is to use a plain background. When shooting portraits, you don't want a distracting background. So again, this background right here, we're just using a simple gray blue background, and the focus is on the model and not so much on the background. Always underexpose just a little bit, because you don't want to lose that detail. If you overexpose, you're going to automatically lose that detail. So personally, for me, I always underexpose so I can bring those details out in Photoshop if needed. And this also goes back to the RAW tip, which you should always shoot in RAW, so that if you underexpose, you can, fix those settings in RAW and then bring out those details. People ask me what I focus on. When you are shooting portraits, you want to focus on the eyes of the model. Another tip is to use a reflector if necessary. This will bounce back some light. It will really fill in those shadows, especially under the chin area when shooting portraits. I think it's great. You don't necessarily have to use a reflector, but I would recommend it. Watch the shoulders and the face angles of the model, and I will go more in depth when I'm shooting with Angelica, but just make sure that shoulder isn't like too weird when you're shooting portraits. Just watch the shoulder and watch the face angles of the model. And another thing, which I mentioned before, Angelica's great for this because she is shorter than me, so you want to get on the level of the model and take a photo that is, again, on the same level as the model. You don't want to go too above or too low. You don't want any weird angles when you're shooting portraits. You really want it to be personal. So getting on their level, like actually bending down, or if you're short like me, get a stool or get something to be on that model's level. And without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and start shooting. So here we go. So bringing it a little closer to the model, hold it a little bit, and then, yep. And notice how Angelica's sitting, both arms are straight down,